Alright, I'll quickly gloss over the heating and cooling system since you were finding it hard. One thing I want you to remember is I want you to try and remember some of these symbols because if you're not doing them on your laptop, then you'll probably have to remember how the symbols look like. So in numeric, for both the heating and cooling systems, you need thermometer, and from Boolean, you'll need three switches. The switches just give yes or no outputs, so there's nothing more to switches than just that. We'll align them. It's Control Shift A if you want to align them, by the way. Control Shift and A, that aligns everything. Now we also need three LEDs. The LEDs are to check whether the systems are on or off. Again, we'll align them all together. So once we're done with that, I'll label these three things. I'll call this manual. I'll call this AC, right? And then I'll call this heater. Okay. And I'm gonna call the LEDs the same thing. We call them manual, and we call them AC, and we call them heater. Okay, we good. Now this is the control palette. If you right click it, you usually find the control palette here. You find the function palette in the back panel over here. You can also see that in the view section. There's the function palette, and view section in the front panel only gives the control palette. There's no function palette here. So one thing you have to keep in mind. We'll align things over here as well. So once I'm done with this much, let me first go to the function palette, the structure, and I'm going to make a case structure, right? Whoopsies. Okay. So and then we will we will do this way. Now, since it's a true condition, you don't need the thermometer. The thermometer only comes in the false condition. We don't need to delete it, but it's not there for the true condition. For the false condition, we would need the thermometer. Right, one thing to keep in mind, the thermometer is only for the false condition. In true condition, we manually connect it. How do you manually do that? You connect the wire to this condition. So that specific question mark there is to check whether the given case is true or false. Now we are checking that with respect to manual. If manual is true, this true block gets executed. If manual is false, then this false block gets executed. Now in the true block, what do I want to do? If the manual is there, I want to be able to manually switch on all my components, right? So these all will be outside. So since I want to be manually be able to switch on all my components, I directly connect the corresponding components to the LEDs. This is me depicting that I've manually connected them together, right? Same thing for heater. Since I'm manually collecting them, I can do this directly, right? Oops, there, done. Think there's an extra wire there. Whoopsies. Just give me 1 second. Okay, oh, there are two of them added by mistake. Oops. Now if there are these broken wires, you can just do Control P and it just cleans it up for you. But then it just be that's all. So we're done, right? So if manual is true, how do you work this out here? You add a Boolean true constant over here, and you connect it here, because you can't directly connect it from here to here, right? This section is taken to check whether the condition is true or false. Once that is true or false, and we know that's true or false, the true statement turns on the manual LED on. AC is directly connected and heater is directly connected. So in case AC was turned off, then it's turned off. It's If heater is turned on, then it's turned on. We can manually toggle it off and on, right? But if you want to automatically do that, that happens in the false condition where the manual is written false. So based on the thermometer reading, either the AC is on or off. How do you do that? For that, you go to the comparison, and then you do greater than or equals to 1, and you do 1 lesser than or equals to. Where's the lesser than or equals to? Okay, so you have these two conditions. Now first of all, we have to right click on it and turn it into a control. Okay, and you can delete this part. You can only have the section for the control. Once we're done with this much, we'll just call this thermometer. The thermometer's temperature, click on that, right click on that, and we can add a constant over there. Okay, this will be what? This will be like 35. So let's say if the thermometer's temperature is greater than 35, then we want it to turn on the AC. right? So in this condition, it's turning on the AC, otherwise the AC is off. And in the other case, we like if the thermometer's temperature, right click on it, create a constant, is lesser than let's say 20 degrees or something, then we want the heater to be turned on, so we connect it to the heater. You see how it's happened here? If the manual is false, then it runs these two conditions and it verifies which is working. We can try running that now, but there's view. Is there any error? This probably seems like there's an error. Manual may, this is false, right? So you'll have to add a false constant here. My bad. Okay, so now we can run that. As you can see, the heater's on because the thermometer's temperature is below 20, but if it's above 20, the AC gets turned on, right? You see that? But if the manual is on, then we can manually select the AC to be on or off and heater to be on or off. Yep.